enforcement component is coming from his oversight and his administration. So just wanted that to be clear as well.
Well, let me say one.
I'm not really trying to debate, but I was just stating.
I want to make a comment.
But I was answering this week. I'm sorry.
The administration can do due diligence and be aggressive. Most important thing I feel on this issue is that the penalty is stiff if they caught driving with expired or that invalid driver's license. Because of the fact you can show me your driver's license today and you can lose them tomorrow. It's the responsibility of the employee to notify the employer that they have lost their license. And they may not always do that, so the penalty for doing that is what discourages them from driving without a license. Because everybody here can show me a license today, and tomorrow they all can be gone because you got caught drunk driving and refuse to take breathalyzer. You lose your license off right there on the spot. That could be tonight. So it's a rule, but the best thing is the penalty. The stiffer the penalty, the more conscious they probably be driving without a license. One more comment?
I'm just referring to answering the question that our resident had asked, and I told them that I would give in the area of discussion, it would be totally discussed so that there would be a full explanation as to why this is here. And I think we discussed it, and now you.
So all minds clear?
Go ahead,
yes.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I know that we heard, what the administration currently does. We check these licenses. And we've been doing that for years. So this isn't something that just came up. It's been done for years.
Yeah, I can understand that.
What we are doing is going from a 1-year check to a 6-month check. Now, there was some talk about it should be less than 1 year, 6 months. 2 members said that, and 1 member said it should be even more frequently. I just want to point out to you that the legislation you're passing tonight has no reference whatsoever to whether or not the city should actually check. So we are already doing more than what this legislation is passing. So I just wanted council to be aware of that while we banter around orally about time frames and checks. There's absolutely no reference whatsoever in here to making a check. Okay, so I just wanted to clarify that.
Okay.
We're already doing more.
We can amend this.
Okay.
All minds clear? Can we,
Well, I want to ask this too, if it's okay. I think the mayor's suggestion was excellent. We ought to amend it and add a check to it. The check into this legislation before we pass it. Why not? It's 6 months or 3 months or whatever you guys feel. Whatever guys and ladies you feel. I think we ought to do that. That way this has some teeth.
well, it's no matter what we do, it has no teeth because it's an administration's decision.
There's a resolution of it.
We agree. I mean, we're
Okay. You agree? Okay.
All right. All minds clear? Call the roll, please.
King,
Yay.
Martin,
Yay.
Baker,
Yay.
Council Wheeler,
Yay.
Council Thomas,
Yeah.
Pass. Ordinance number 3415.
Ordinance 3415, an ordinance allowing that 2016 alternative tax budget information be provided to the County Budget Commission so that the city can be eligible for a waiver of the ORC 5705.28 requirement that a political subdivision adopt a tax budget and declaring an emergency in order to meet the county's July 20, 2015 deadline for the information to be submitted to the county fiscal officer.
This is sponsored by Council President Thomas.
I will sponsor ordinance 3415 and move for its adoption.
I second the motion.
Move second. Any discussion?
Yes, I would like to, with the mayor's permission, have the finance director come up because there is some rearranging of this. Please.
Thank you, Madam Chairman, to members of council, to the mayor, the law director, residents in the audience. This is a piece of legislation that comes in front of City Council every year at this particular time. as the council clerk read in the introduction, Ohio Revised Code 5705 governs the budgetary process for city governments. And one of those is requiring a city council to submit to the county budget commission through this legislation estimates of what we think our revenues for next year will be. So this actually begins the budget process for 2016. These estimates are what our original certificate of estimated resources are going to be based on. Once we get to the end of this year, 2015, those estimates will be adjusted by whatever the fund balances are going to be. Because we are in a fiscal emergency, that process is not going to be exactly like that, but this essentially starts the 2016 budget process.
Thank you.
Any other comments, questions? All minds clear?
All lines clear, yeah.
Call the roll.
Council King,
Yay.
Council Martin,
Yay.
Council Baker,
Yay.
Council Wheeler,
Yay.
Council Thomas.
Yay.
Turn
3415 has passed. Remarks and requests of the public on any item.
The word talks about,
We
be
still-
careful who you entertain for major angles unawares, and I know a lot of you don't understand me when I come here, and I'm not currently a resident of East Cleveland, but I constantly intercede on behalf of the city. In my prayer life and on platforms where I know people can be a blessing to this city. Not only because I came from here as a child, but because that's who I am and that's what I do. I have something called Praise and Worship in the Park, and it's a series that I have every year. And I like to have God restore the glory back into this land and remove the cloud off of this city. And I like to have this series welcome in East Cleveland, in your parks that you have. I'm not sure about all of them. I just know about Forest Hills, and I see like some other small areas that look like parks. And another reason why I come too is because some of my fellow clergy pastors, I'm a fivefold minister, but some of the pastors who don't come to the council meetings to see what your concerns are for whatever the reasons are, whether they're good or bad, I have an opportunity sometimes to let them know what your needs are at the proper platforms. And then on Fridays on the radio broadcast, I get a chance to speak up for you all and say what our concerns are about. And if you have a council of pastors that you all work with in East Cleveland that would like to join me with the Praise and Worship in the Park so you can get resources locally, nationwide, or whatever, however you like to, I'd be glad to help you do that. I'm having revival, and I'm having this series Saturday and Sunday in Cleveland at Garden View Hill Park. And it's going to be a combination of praise and worship in the park, but also a revival, because I want you all to be blessed. You may not understand me. I do have my unique pattern style, Councilman Baker. But it's all good. And I would be glad to use this blessing that God and this vision that God gave me to help you rebuild your city, Mayor Norton, and all the council members.
Thank you.
I'm Gerald Struthers, 4412 News. Mr. Mayor, you stepping out? This situation where Mr. King's saying that there are no rodents, there's nothing wrong, everything is great on Noble Road. That's exactly what the people up there wanted to hear, because the fact that I'm here because my father's birthday day, I was in Pittsburgh. A family down here went to the hospital. They went to the hospital over asbestos because of the fact that he just said, Mr. King just said, there's no rodents, there's no pests, everything's great. We're gonna put a tarp up there and everything's gonna be fantastic. So, I'm trying to keep calm because I'm really upset over his family going to the hospital and the people up there fighting. I was sick for about a week when I went up there. You see the mask up here? We're handing these out to everybody up there now. Everybody's getting these things. We're handing they can't breathe. I think that's what we just put down. That we can't breathe. But we're happy that Councilman King made it clear that everything is fine and the dust, and you didn't go up there, Barbara Thomas. You didn't go up there to see that. Because the residents would love for you to come up to their area. They'll give you a tour of it, and they'll show you how sick they are. They'll show you the rats and the rodents all over the place. So I'm just addressing this to the residents because they're so upset over this. I'm really upset over the family going to the hospital. So I didn't bring media here. I didn't alert the media. I didn't tell media about this stuff because it's such a terrible thing going on right now. The family deserves some privacy. So Mr. King, when you start talking about all this stuff, that everything is great, we're misinforming everybody, I hope you're ready. I hope you're ready. Because I say this every once in a while, but I'm going to unleash the Kraken on you. I'm going to unleash the Kraken on this council over these people on Noble Road. They deserve better than this. If it means that they got to take to the street and do what they do, I believe that they're ready. They didn't show up, Mr. Baker, they didn't show up for your meeting last night because they're so mad. That's why you had 15 people at your meeting. They were so upset. Didn't want me to show up. They didn't want telecast. They let send a message to you. And they all knew about it. But I just want you guys to know, as these people get sent away to the hospital and get sick, that you guys are killing these people. You're killing them.
Good evening. I thank you for giving me that information. I just hope that you do get something legally and in writing. It's very important because this lawsuit, y'all, matter of fact, let's see, isn't this like the second lawsuit? We have 2 lawsuits, baby? So, there's 2 big main ones, if I'm not mistaken. There's this one and another one. You know, you all are facing, well, the city is facing a big financial problem. What I'm hoping is that the state does not come in, you all, seriously, I really hope that doesn't come in, that doesn't happen, because nobody had no say-so. And it's like everything that you try to do will go in vain, and that doesn't make sense. But I'm hoping that you'll be able to get some notification from the administration. And it's so sad that you all can't seem to come together. I don't know what it is. Then you have a mayor that comes in here late and then walks back out of here. This has been going on for quite some time, and I just wonder how long is this going to be tolerated until his term is up and he's out of here. Okay? One more thing. We had a little flooding yesterday on Northfield. I remember what you told me about that. I know it would take some time, but I want to keep you abreast as to what's going on with those sewer lines there. Terrace Road. I don't know what you all can do as to those holes that are in Terrace Road right by Huron Road Place. I know it's probably hard for you all to get the, what is that, asphalt, what do they call it? Cold patch. And I should know better because I've talked about this before. I just think maybe you think they could maybe take gravel and fill the holes with. You know, they use gravel for a lot of things, a lot of heavy gravel, and that might would keep it in place until you can come with a better solution to enable us to drive without dodging and going in these big holes. Because man, you all of you drive, I assume. When you got these newer cars, or any car, these newer cars, my goodness, it costs a mint to get them fixed. Those tie rods and everything. And I'm sure we're trying to keep from getting into that big predicament. We have to pay for, you know, this type of work. But I mean, if they could get some gravel and, you know, a lot of people have came up to try to help everybody here, like with the fire truck and other things. And hopefully it'd be some type of way you can get some gravel, some heavy gravel just put in there. And that holds pretty good in those type of holes. Question is, I had about Huron Road Place. Are they going to demolish that building, or was it tied in with when they tore the hospital down? Or I would like some info on that, because I'm just a little curious about that, because I know the hospital had took that building over, and I just can't understand why the hospital is down and that building is still standing. That's just, you know, a question I have. Other than that, other holes in the city that's still standing. I don't know what's going on with the cold patch. I don't know what the situation is money-wise with the administration. why they have called a halt on continuing to patch certain holes in different areas.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Time.
okay, but that's all I had to say. Thank you.
Thank you.
Terry H. Hopefrey, 145 11 Terrace Road, East Cleveland, Ohio. Like some folks, I actually do live in the city of East Cleveland, and I just paid my bill. The schools were 55 point something percent. The city was 14%. I paid 7 point something percent for the park, and I forget what it was for the library, and it's called taxes. I saw the movie years ago, Love Canal, and I also have the tape of Eric Brockovich and what she had to go through. They actually, the company made them brochures and said everything was okay. I have not actually been up there. I just saw it on TV. I would not like no mess like that across from me, and breathing that. And I think that, and I see homes in back of that. One lady that I saw on the TV, she said she was married with 6 children. The children cannot come out. Those whatever they are, they need to be taken out of the city of East Cleveland. I wish I could remember the lady's name. She was a state representative. She is now deceased. And when this type of stuff came up before, many years ago, to dump into East Cleveland, she said no to it. And I cannot remember her name, but she is deceased. As far as I'm concerned, those things are love canals. They should be nowhere near people living.
The name is Macola Stanberry. I live at 1655 Bryn Mawr. Branding, well, I'm speaking to the council as a whole, but what I'm finna say is concerning you, Mr. King, and you, Mr. Whittle. Now, I was confused when I came in about sitting up here. I'm hard of hearing. I can't hear that well. And I've been coming to city councils for a long time. And I never had, well, nobody, well, it might have, but I never noticed it, that you had certain place we could sit. So what my statement was when you all left out, now, whoever sit up here, to me, I'm speaking for Stanberry, to me, it's not important who come in and who sit where. What my concern is, you all up here for to take care of the city business or whatever, and the city and the residents. So to me, that's more important than this. So now if you all would really take care of the city business and the citizens of East Cleveland, like you all went out and got the police to move Mr. Mays, our city would be better. We wouldn't have them potholes. We would have lights. We wouldn't be in the shape we're in today if you all was that diligent with the city, taking care of the city. Thank you. And people sitting on this seat. I mean, it don't make no matter who sit on these seats, the front row or sit up here on the front. It doesn't matter. My concern is the city. I love this city. I've been here 50 years. I love East Cleveland. This is my home. I love it. But since I've been here, he just went far as it can go. He's just a dump. Everywhere I go in East Cleveland, his garbage. The houses tearing. Just like she was talking about Hugh and Road. Hey, wake up, smell the coffee, and take care of the business of East Cleveland and its citizens. And we would appreciate it so very much. My dear friend, she loved it, this city. She going on to glory now. I want to live a long time. We talked about it all. We talked about this city all the time. What we wanted to see before we close our eyes. I'm closer to the grave than I was before, because I got older. I want to see this city for a change. Dorothy Parker was my dear friend. She was very concerned and loved her city. And she did a lot of things with me. I got her involved in a lot of stuff in East Cleveland. She loved it. And she gone on. And please, you all try to help the city and do something for the city and the citizens. She would love that. She would smile down on you. And God will bless you. Okay? I love all of you.
Thank you, Ms. Sandberry.
Thank you, Ms.
Omays, 1860. I heard you had some equivocation in reference to legislation 3315 in reference to employees having license if you're going to drive city vehicles, or our vehicles. I'll put it that way. I'll be inclusive. And you are the legislative. If you focus on the legislation, your job, what you was elected to do, as far as here talking about some chairs and trying to take us back to slavery when you couldn't ride or sit in the front or whatever, and then you will come up here and then people look like me, same color of me, they're going to tell me I can't sit here. That's violating my constitutional right. And then for the law director to say, well, you're meeting. What? I don't care who you have here. If you have that, you put reserve for that particular person or whatever you're going to have here. You don't come here telling us who you work at our pleasure that you can't sit here. That's violating my constitutional rights. And then you're going to turn around and call Gary Norton. Who is Gary Norton? What is he going to do to me? What happened? Oh, well, I know you have to work, some of you have to work for him, and perhaps some of these ones sitting up here as counsel, I guess have to acquiesce to him as well. But you better acquiesce to us. We are your boss. And then you'll come here and tell us where to sit. And we've been sitting in the back all our lives. I can't believe this. And then it's incumbent upon you to sit here and pass legislation. If you don't have it in place in reference to people driving, you put it in place. That's what you do. But you can, and then you talk about the dump, letting people just dump in our city. That's what your job is here, to enforce the law and pass laws that's not, it's not in place. That's what your function is. And not sitting around here telling people where they can sit. Going back to George Wallace days. And all them other old, Lord forgive me, what have you. I mean, that just burn me up when I see my own people do something like this. That's petty. And then the law director saying, well, you go call Gary Norton. She knows that this is a public meeting. This is our city hall. You work at our pleasure. You're spending our tax dollars. Just fed up with it. And then talk about the dump. Don't dump me. Dump me now. And now, anybody that in the city turning our city into a dump. Let me just finish my point.
Mr. O'May.
Let me just finish my sentence.
3 minutes, 12 seconds.
Let me just finish my sentence. And then, let me just maybe end with this. I'll just leave that alone. Then you're going to have the audacity to get up and walk out. We should tell you, keep walking. Because I'm sitting on this seat. How petty is that? And then he's going to follow behind. I had more respect for you than that.
Thank you. Thank you.
I mean, it's safe. It is safe.
Thank
and
you.
I know your father probably cut over in his grave. You